to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that the massive flag that flies over the Pocono infield is called the Davy Allison flag with a plaque at its base? It was erected in the spot where his hauler was supposed to have parked in July of 1993. Davy Allison, man, what an underrated driver. He would have been a multiple time champion. I know the anniversary of his death was last week, and it's so unfortunate that that had to happen. He was just such a great driver, and I would have loved to have seen him race more. So rest in peace to Davey. But anyways, guys, welcome to the Nas Boys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Mike Bob Fan 101, with my good friends and co-host Christian, aka Savage NASCAR,
What I do, Nasboys crew.
and Cam, aka Noticed_Cam.
Howdy, y'all.
So let's get down to talking about this weekend's eventful races up at Pocono. The Cup race had a lot of tempers, like short track level tempers.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that, we are going to dive into the actual race and hear the thoughts from the boys. What did you guys think of the Cup race?
First off, I want to say that in the last episode, I said this race can change a lot of people's opinions about Pocono. I said this race better be good, and it lived up to the hype. I mean, you saw how crowded it was there. It's the biggest crowd, if I'm correct, at Pocono Raceway since 2010 for the Cup Series. A lot of hype was behind it. There was a ton of fans, and it didn't disappoint at all. Great race. It was better than last year's, I felt like. And to be honest with you, there was a lot of different leaders too, a lot of different turning points. Things could have gone either way. I do know that Logano, he won stage one, and that I wasn't really surprised by that. Logano's been decently consistent at the track, but never has really won there except for in 2012 when he passed Mark Martin for the win. But some drivers that definitely didn't shock me to be up front were Martrex Jr. and Tyler Reddick. Didn't surprise me at all. Kevin Harvick, he ran well there last year and was running well again this year at the track. So first off, I was surprised by, as you said, the tempers. I did not think that there's going to be a fight at Pocono again for a long time. But, it's been a while since we've seen a fight there. And it's been a while since we've seen guys really go at it like that. I mean, we did see Hamlin put fence Chastain last year and did the same basic move to Kyle Larson.
Not even close to the back of the 19. The 11 clears him, and now here comes Denny Hamlin to the inside for the lead through one.
He runs the 5 wide, almost into the fence.
Up into the wall with the 5, and now the momentum. Behind them, with the 19 of Martrex Jr., Larson loses the lead. Hamlin's out front.
Oh, we got a crash behind him into the tunnel turn. A big wreck. Hard lick.
That's Haley in the 31, and he has turned around. A lot of damage to the driver's side of the 31.
This year. So obviously Denny Hamlin races people really hard, and he is just honestly the biggest hypocrite in the sport, and we'll get to more of that later. But overall, I thought the race was a solid 9 out of 10. It would have been better had NASCAR hadn't screwed up the ending there, to be frank, with their call, which honestly, Priest, yeah, he was stopped, but didn't look like a whole lot of damage. And I think that's what really, made people upset about the finish was they were like, they could have thrown the caution, earlier. And honestly, I felt like NASCAR was in a position where they were kind of like, should we throw the yellow or should we not? Because he was trying to get it going, but at the same time, you don't want to have like cars going 170 miles an hour by another car in the middle of the track. And imagine if they got a rear end impact, like that could have been awful. But then again, I know y'all probably have a little bit of different takes about it than me. There's some people saying that NASCAR actually threw the yellow before they threw the white flag. So what is your thoughts on that, Cam? And what was your overall thoughts on the race?
I thought it was a pretty good race. I think it was, like I said, like Christian said, I mean, he kind of summed it up all good for me with, 9 out of 10. I always like seeing a good fight. That may sound bad to say, but I always like seeing a good fight. Uh, and I think you're not wrong though about how they don't know what to do. I think the problem is, and now I can say I'm a little bit guilty of this, is I think a lot of times I judge NASCAR for them either throwing the yellow or throwing the white. And the thing is, I think it's because they don't. I'm trying to think of the word. Sorry, they don't say they don't stick with what they went with the last race that had to be thrown a yellow before the white flag. You know what I mean? Like it's always different. They don't really stay the same. And so I think that always gets a lot of NASCAR fans mad. And that's the only reason why I don't have NASCAR's back completely. But I do think I understand the point of where when it is in one of those positions again, they're like, geez, what do we do so we don't get hated on? I think it's like one of those things where I'm sure they do have that thought in their head, like, well, and I'm sure they've had some tough positions in the past. So, I think it happens and it sucks, and it's just like how in MLB when they throw a ball and it's called strike, you just suck it up and go, okay, all right. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, I was a little confused as to why they didn't throw the yellow. I thought that, they've thrown yellows for similar situations in the past, and they probably should have thrown a yellow, but um I'm not too upset about it because I felt like Hamlin was going to win either way. So it's not as big of a deal, but it is very frustrating how inconsistent NASCAR has been with certain moments over the past couple weeks.
That's the word.
Like there was a couple wrecks, I can't remember it. I believe it was either New Hampshire or Atlanta, that at one point they threw a yellow, but then a similar incident they didn't throw it. So it's like, what is the rules to this? Like is NASCAR's officiating so inconsistent? I just don't understand it at all. But I guess talking about my thoughts on the actual race, it was okay. It was kind of like last year's. There was a lot more strategy to it. I feel like the Gen 7 car really adds a good element to Pocono. Um, there were some wrecks in this race, like we saw my boy Joey. He got wrecked by Michael McDowell. Thanks, Michael. Here's that.
So there it is. The 45 of Reddick is on the outside of the 22, and the 22 is getting shoved around. Like, he has some control, but when you're getting pushed that much, Jeff, you kind of are being steered by the car behind you, and you see it steer him into the left rear quarter panel of the 45 car Reddick. It turns him around.
Drivers, I always want to know, like when you go down the interstate, you have these blind spots, but that's with side mirrors. These guys, how well defined is like lane 1, 2, and 3, Jeff?
Not very well, but let's watch Suarez. Let's see what he is. The bottom car, oh, there's the contact right there. He just was underneath some other cars. They came down on him.
Blames Michael.
Yeah, and Joey, I'm not gonna lie, I love him, but he kind of made a fool out of himself. I'm not gonna react, like show the clip, because there is a lot of swearing, especially for Joey Logano standards. But to summarize it, if you have not seen the clip, Joey couldn't get the car rolling because all 4 of his tires were flat. Thanks, next gen cars. So he at first wanted them to push the car, and he said, yeah, I need a push. But then he changed his mind when he realized he couldn't drive the car, and he said, no, I need a tow. But the track workers, I guess, got confused because he had originally said he wanted a push.
Yeah.
So Joey started yelling at them. He was like, where's the hustle? And, he started calling them names like stupid SOBs. Like, first of all, Joey, are you Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder calling everybody a SOB? But yeah, I mean, I get why he's mad because, it's frustrating when you just got wrecked. You were having a great day going, and then your day ends, and then the track crew is, kind of being slow. But it's like, dude, you have this image of being one of the nicest guys in the garage. And again, I get why he would be frustrated. I get frustrated with things too, but it's like, you got to chill out, man. They're trying their best to help you out. And, you don't need to yell at them over a simple misunderstanding. That could have been, way worse. Or they could have, well, no, they could have even damaged your car more. Apparently they did, but I don't agree with Joey yelling at the track workers. It was really a bad look for him, but I understand why he was upset with it. And I feel like that NASCAR does need to fix the track workers a little bit. They seemed a little
Vic?
slow, but
You
I don't
know,
know. I think it's just ridiculous all around.
yeah, you know what? I see where you're coming from too. I mean, I think everybody makes mistakes, so it's like, I'm not defending Joey though. I think he is an absolute idiot in this one. He was being the stupid SOB in this situation. Uh, I think he messed up royally, and I don't know if he has apologized yet or if he's really came out with anything. I haven't heard anything. I think he should. I think he should definitely apologize because I think he was wrong. And like I said, I tell you what, he puts on a bad image for him. Especially when here's the thing too is when you're a NASCAR champion and when you're as big as you are as a name in NASCAR, you represent NASCAR. You know what I mean? There's no doubt. Hate Joey Logano, love Joey Logano, whoever you are. Understand when you're a champion, when you're bigger in the name, when you're bigger in the sport, whatever you do, you're also representing me. You're representing the fan base. You're representing NASCAR as a whole. So, when you kind of come out with like that slander a little bit, it does kind of seem to make a bad look, right? And, he already has a bad image on him. Some people don't like him. So it doesn't really help his case or NASCAR's case, and at the end of the day, those are just workers trying to do their job, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think, like I said, I think he was wrong. What do you think, Christian?
Here's my take on it. So first off, with the wreck, you're going 3-4 wide in the Pocono. Something's usually going to happen, right? And there's contact. Suarez. It's a shame to see the jockey American pacing car get wrecked. This time Suarez was carrying that pacing and went pretty hard to the wall. Got a wreck. And from what I saw, I watched the full clip, and the workers were there fast. Don't get me wrong, they were there fast. But I felt like they had the truck probably turned to push and not to tow because the tow's on the back of the truck. So they probably had the truck was trying to push after he said that. And then then he was all mad and everything. I honestly thought it was kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. I was laughing when the first time I saw that. He's like, what's he doing? What the truck? And he's just like screaming. And I've never heard Joey like get that passionately angry at something before. So I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, I've seen him get mad at like Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick, but this was like a whole different level. I've never seen a side of him like this. So it honestly made me laugh. But at the end of the day, I can definitely see why it could be embarrassing for him. He did end up finishing next to last because of the wreck. I think they did try to get the car back out there, but just too much damage, honestly. Suarez ended up finishing last, and I should he apologize? Yeah, maybe to the trackers, but I'll see why he would need to apologize to anyone else.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I'm sure other drivers have said some crazy stuff to track workers too. There just wasn't a radio on. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't an onboard footage. So I wonder, seeing that, if there's been other instances where other drivers have said something crazy like that to track workers. I mean, there was the 1992 Hooters 500 Atlanta where Richard Petty wrecked in his final race. He said, "Get the bleeping fire extinguisher." At the workers at their on fire. But anyways, another topic I wanted to bring up here as we get to sort of like the finish of the race. Towards the end, we saw Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin battling for the win. And as you know, Kyle Larson, he's ran people up the track before. He's a very aggressive driver, same thing with Denny Hamlin, but Denny fenced him like he did the Ross Chastain last year. And for Hamlin to say on his podcast that he did not hit Kyle Larson is blasphemous. And second of all, to treat a quote-unquote friend like trash, wrecking him not once, but twice this year. And not only that, 4 separate times in his career, he's wrecked Kyle Larson for like no reason. He wrecked him at Kansas. He turned him at Circuit Americas, and now forces him into Pocono. Like, where's the class? There was still 6 laps to go in the race. Cut him a break. I mean, he gave you plenty of room on the freaking bottom of the track. Like, what's going on here, Hamlin? And I know I'm not a Hamlin fan, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with me on this. He is the biggest hypocrite in NASCAR. Just contradicts himself all the time, and I hope he changes. That's all I could hope. But he is making a fool out of himself.
I completely agree with you, Christian. There's been several instances. I'm not sure where I saw it, but somebody put up a post with several instances of Hamlin. He loves to go under your left side and he loves to slam you in the fence. He loves to put your tires down. He did that to Joey Logano in Martinsville back in 2018.
Yeah.
And he's wrecked Larson like you said 4 times, and he claims they're friends, and you're wrecking him like that. Like, really, dude?
Another example. He put Bubba Wallace in the wall at Daytona for second a couple years ago.
Yeah,
just for no reason. Like, he just ran him into the wall. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Denny Hamlin, he's just such a hypocrite. But if you were to put him in the wall or you were to touch him lightly, even if you didn't mean to, he's going to bash you and he's going to cry for the next week and a half because he's nothing but a little baby hypocrite. And, everybody loves to put down Busch, Logano, Chastain for, being babies or like doing like hypocritical things. Why don't you put down Denny Hamlin too? Just because, he puts on this act with the fans where he gets out of the car and he's like, yeah, shower me with booze and all that stupid crap. And he has his podcast where, yes, he does make good takes at times, but most of the time it's to justify why he's a baby. Don't y'all see that he's the real hypocrite of NASCAR and he's a dirty driver? He is a very dirty driver.
You know what? Denny Hamlin is once again. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I was going to say what he did to Larson on Sunday was absolutely ridiculous. I've seen similar instances where, like, you do put drivers and you squeeze them up the track a little bit. That's fine. But you could tell he was trying to get him in the wall.
Yeah.
He just put him way high up the track. He could have just left it where he put him high enough to the track and then just went back down on the bottom. But you could tell he was trying to drive him in the track. So Larson has every right to be mad. And he even said it, he's like, if it was, Denny's always right, I guess. So, Denny Hamlin, you are just a freaking clown, man. You are such a clown. And I wish somebody would put you in your place and fence you so hard.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Let me tell you, he made himself clown of the week once again. Denny Hamlin looks like Santa's little helper. All right, he's a little crybaby. He's like that 4-year-old brat when like they get a toy, like they see their sibling get a toy, and they're like, "Well, I want that toy." He's just a whiny little butthead. I want to kick him in his face so bad. Like, honestly, I want to make when I have my own house one day and I have like my little man cave. I'm gonna make my bowling pins Denny Hamlin's face and just endlessly just hit him in the face with a bowling ball, bro. Because I just cannot stand him. And you know what? He's a little whiny, and I feel like after every race we got to give him his little celebratory pop. Like, here's your sucker for being a good boy today, Denny. Don't get me started. And you know what? He's a jerk. Listen, mind my language, but he's a prick. That's a prick move.
Oh yeah, he is. I've heard.
That's a prick move. And you know what? And you did it, and you did it on purpose. Everybody sees it. We all see that you did it on purpose. You could have moved him out the way, tapped away. He's supposedly your friend, yet you dump him because you're selfish. And you want that perfect. Oh, look at me, like you're over dominance. You try to over dominate, and you know what? Your over dominate causes you to fail. That's why you've been in the Final Four and you still lose every time. You suck, Denny Hamlin. Please,
and he'll continue to lose. And he'll continue to lose.
I am tired of you. I am so tired of you. You look like your teeth look like piano tiles, bro. I can't stand you.
We got the old Cam back, ladies and gentlemen.
And he's built like what up, Doc? The bunny rabbit, bro. I can't think of the name right now.
Oh, Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny. He looks like Bugs Bunny.
He's built like the hamburger helper logo. Also. But
he is. You know what,
bro?
Go ahead. I'm done. Go ahead.
Dude, it's crazy. Even when you're wrong, even when your teammate Martin Truex Jr. says you're wrong, like to say that that was dirty. Even his teammate said that too. So I feel like he is trying to become the villain. You know what I'm saying? He got jealous of Chastain, and he's now trying to become the villain. He's trying to, bro thinks he's Chick Hicks.
Nah, I think what he's trying to do is he sees people like, in the UFC, for example, like Colby Covington. I think he sees them trying to be like the heel. So he's trying to be the heel of NASCAR, but he's ending up making himself look like a D-bag instead of just trying to be like a heel. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I tell you what, though. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were going.
He's just mostly being a D-bag. Like he's not even like doing it to be entertaining. I just think he's genuinely a D-bag.
You know what? I'll tell you what, though. If he's been trying to be this heel, he's been trying to be the heel D-bag for the longest time. All right. He's constantly done things. He's constantly over-raced people. You know, I'm just tired of it. I hope next week Larson just absolutely puts, or you know what? Let him win. Let him go to the finals. And then right when he makes the championship, Larson just puts him in the wall.
Yeah.
Please make him flip.
Imagine.
I don't care. I am so tired of Denny Hamlin. I can't stand Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin is trash. All right. He's just trash.
I agree with you 100%, Cam, and I'm glad that we got the old Cam back roasting people. I needed that laugh. Thank you. But yeah, you know what sucks is that besides the incident with Chase Elliott at Fontana that one year, Larson doesn't really drive people like crap. He drives everybody clean. He races respectfully, and he races to win. But yeah, I see him getting hit in the wall for like no reason. Like if Larson did something to him, I could understand where Hamlin's coming with, hitting him in the wall, but Larson doesn't do anything. He's raced him with respect, and he's been patient every time they've fought for the win, and Hamlin just has to end it with wrecking him. And same thing happened to Kansas. He wrecked him then too, and Larson was cool. But now, I bet Larson's getting fed up, and I think that he should wreck Denny Hamlin to assert, for one, dominance, and for two, to get respect out of Denny Hamlin. Or to, bring Denny back down to earth, because we all know he's a championless little rat-faced loser.
Oh my!
You know what? Listen, Denny Hamlin represents the Denny's of breakfast, which is absolute dog crap. Absolute dog crap. You know what? Listen, when you're below Waffle House, bro, your career is below Waffle House. You suck. I would never go to. Listen, I would never. You'll never, ever, ever, ever catch me 3 a.m. at a Waffle House. Or at 3 a.m. watching Denny Hamlin videos, highlights on YouTube, because he sucks. He sucks. He's terrible. You know what?
Whoa.
And Michael Jordan, you know what? The reason Michael Jordan helped you out is because you're like a little Make-A-Wish kid, all right? You're nothing special. You suck. You're terrible.
Nah, that's crazy to say. I will say that, Hamlin, for it to be, what was supposed to be a milestone win for him, it's not really, doesn't really feel like it, because a lot of people feel like he didn't deserve to win. And then, he now has the most wins at Pocono, which I did pick him to win, but obviously, for him to have the most wins at Pocono over Jeff Gordon doesn't feel right to me, especially after how he raced this past weekend. But what's really triggering me, though? The fact that he's only 5 wins away from catching Kel Yarbrough for most wins in the 11 car. That's kind of haunting to me, because I'm like, bro, like, come on. If he actually passes Kel Yarbrough for most wins in 11, like, there's a problem. But anyways, what do people have to say about that? I know that you had that poll up.
While I get the poll up right now, I want to mention another clown, Austin Dillon. He wrecked himself on Tyler Reddick. If you haven't seen it, here it is.
To go back to work. Oh, crash!
Into the wall hard. And Austin Dillon for the second time. Around in turn 1, this time a hard contact.
Yeah,
that wall and fire under the hood.
It was a hard lick. Into the 45 of Reddick.
I'd like to get another look at that. It almost looked like Austin didn't know he was there, but right, that was just the first glance at it. Here we go. Yeah, I think he's expecting maybe that Reddick's going to be lower on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's 2 guys going for the same piece of asphalt. Used to be teammates at RCR.
So yeah, he just straight up comes down, wrecks himself on Tyler Reddick. It's mad at Tyler and throws his helmet like a little sissy on the track. He's either aiming for the track or at Brad Keselowski.
Not happy with the driver of the 45.
Like, bro, you were not even close to hitting Tyler Reddick. Get out of here with your reality show and your stupid. Oh, he's such a silver spoon. I think he's worse of silver spoon than Ty Gibbs because Ty Gibbs at least has talent, even though he's a little leprechaun. You, Austin Dillon, are just a cowboy hat wearing little prick.
No.
Listen, Austin Dillon throws like a little child in a tantrum. All right, he doesn't hit anything. It doesn't hurt. I feel like his punch would break his own fist. All right, that's basically what he did when he tried to wreck Tyler Reddick. And by the way, let me tell you now, Austin Dillon is built like a dill pickle, bro. I don't ever want to hear him talk about me again. All right, ever let him talk about me because I promise you, I'm tired of him. I'm tired of his little sissy tantrum. All right, he needs to take his diaper out, take his tampon out, whatever he's got to do to one up again. Hollywood's gotten to him, so yeah, I'm tired.
Exactly. But anyways, 88% said great. That is the best reaction to a race so far this season, I believe. 0% said good, 0% said mess/okay, and 12% said bad. Let's see, no thoughts. Thoughts on the Hamlin and Larson incident. 75% are with Larson and 25 are with Hamlin.
Let me guess. Blumel was voted for Hamlin.
Actually, he didn't even vote on this.
Okay, that's surprising.
Let's see. EJP Fur, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry, bro. He says Larson. Then he ran him into the wall and can't win the right way. He is a clown. Amen, brother.
He got it right.
Driver of the day, Larson. I'm gonna have to agree, Larson.
Dude, he did lead the most laps. The only thing that's conflicting with driver today is like there's some guys that came through a lot, like went through a lot and worked their way up there. Like, Truex Jr. had a really strong car. There's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. who finished 7th after starting 22nd. And what about guys like Harrison Burton and Eric Jones starting 26th and 24th and finishing 8th and 9th? Honestly, it's tough, but I'm going to say driver today is Truex Jr. He did lead 20 laps, not as much as Larson, but he had really strong car there towards the end. And I feel like if, him and Reddick can't lead back, I feel like if they had an overtime finish, then Truex would have won.
I'm going to go Larson. I think Larson deserves it.
Yeah, I picked Larson mainly because he did lead the most laps, and plus he had that incident with Bell.
Way too much pushing too late down into the transition of turn 1.
Having your tires clean is really important, but having them all on the ground is more important.
Well, how about Ryan Blaney?
And rebounded. So.
They had this metric system. I forgot who posted it, but it was like whoever finished, like if the final 40 laps at Pocono were green flag at the lap speed, then Larson would have won. The 9 would have finished 2nd. Hamlin would have finished 3rd. Byron would have finished 4th. And Bowman 5th. Truex Jr. 6th. And Reddick 7th. And Buescher 8th. So, yeah, that would have been interesting to see. But another incident after the race, we saw Ryan Preece go at it with Corey
LaJoy.
If you haven't seen that, here it is.
You piece of that was bull. You know.
Yeah, that was wild. I don't really know what to think of that because I didn't see what happened with those two.
Yeah, basically Corey LaJoy got into him there. And it's next to last lap, and Preece is always mad at somebody. He always complains about somebody too. And Preece is a whiny person, but
I said
he's very passionate about his job. He struggled this year, and for him to have another what could have been a decent finish, wiped away there, then I could get why I'd be upset. But basically try to fight Corey LaJoy while he's in the car.
Yeah, at least wait for him to get out of the car before you run up to the car. I said this last year with Hocevar. Preece is a baby.
Yeah, Preece also and he needs like a pacifier sometimes, man. I tell you, he does get on my nerves. I don't know. Sometimes he does, and I don't know. I don't really have a problem with LaJoy, so I feel like LaJoy. I feel like he's, in my opinion, he's unproblematic. So I don't know.
Yeah.
For him to act like that was a little stupid.
And real quick before we get into the next race, what about Legacy Motor Club? They had a little bit. Yeah, they had a post where how teams they post like a picture of the track or whatever, and they say it's race day. A picture of the Pocono garage that's supposed to be dedicated to Adam Petty and Photoshop their own name to it. Like, bruh, your social media team is
crazy.
just as whack as your freaking team, Legacy. You guys are only relevant because of Jimmy Johnson and Richard Petty. Get out of here with your mid butts.
Yeah, that was definitely an L, to say the least. I wonder if the person who made that got fired or not. But
I hope they
basically,
did.
5 of the weeks, we got a lot of them. There's Denny Hamlin. There's Tim, Legacy Motor Club, whoever made that.
Joey.
Austin Dillon, and Ryan Priest. But I will say, I saw this one post that was on Reddit, and it was this fan that was talking about his first experience at a NASCAR race. And if you haven't seen that, it could be on the screen. If not, it is what it is. But he was describing his first Pocono race and everything, his first NASCAR race, and he said he was blown away by it. And it's just obviously, just reading what he said, it just shows you how different it is to be at the track in person than watching it on TV. But I guess now we can move on to the other races.
Yeah, Xfinity. Real quick rundown. What do you guys think of it?
Dude, that was an interesting race, to say the least. And Barry, I don't know what Barry was thinking. Very dumb move by him, considering his age.
Car's really loose, either due to the cycle of tires or just not having the tires clean. Coming off of turn 2, just hips check. That's just racing, good hard racing right there. But the contact, I think the first contact actually flattens the right front tire on the 8.
I think the 1 was almost trying to either look inside the 21 or I don't want to push the 21 past my teammate in the 8. Like, I really think Sam Mayer was a little, should I be the top, the middle, and then poor Josh Berry, he just goes up to side draft and just misjudges the 1 who's down half a lane.
Yes, White Stripes runs right into his own teammate and everything there at the end, trying to be desperate for a win. Austin Hill once again showing he's good at tracks that are longer than 2 miles long, or more than 2 miles at length, if I were to be frank. Honestly, Mayer led the most. Mayer actually led 43 laps. He gained 43 points, and he seemed to be someone that could probably win the race, and he got wiped out. There, and Barry kind of put himself in that situation, knocked his teammate out and himself out from winning that race. So what do you think about that ending there?
I think that ending definitely took me by surprise. I wasn't really expecting that to happen, but yeah, it was wild. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I thought it was a dumb move by Barry. I don't know if something broke on his car or what, but yeah, I thought the move from Hill was clean, but Barry coming back, that was also clean, but I don't know why he just went straight up into Sam like that. That was really dumb. Barry's known to, fence people as well, like Hamlin, but a lot of people don't talk about it. But we got to cut this real quick, and when we come back, we'll see what the people had to say. And we are back.
Yep. So another thing to know about the Xfinity race, we saw 2 drivers that did well that haven't been doing well recently. Riley Herbst and Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott led 9 laps. He finished 3rd. And Riley Herbst finished 4th in the race. But what did the people have to say about the Xfinity race?
40% said great, 20% said good, 20% said that's okay, and 20% said bad. No thoughts, no driver of the day. I will give it to, I kind of want to give it to Josh Berry, even though he screwed himself over, unless something broke on his car, because he was really the dominant car of the race. But yeah, you know what? I'll still give it to him. Josh Berry.
It's kind of tough to say for this one because Austin Hill was just so strong at the end. He only led 2 laps, but I probably got to go with Barry too. I mean, he if he wasn't just so desperate there at the end and he would have been patient, then he could have won.
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna say Chase Elliott.
What? He was 14th the entire race, and he ended up.
No,
Hey,
I'm playing. No, I'm
Thank
playing.
you.
I'm gonna go Barry. I'm gonna go Barry.
All right.
That's
All right.
funny.
Now for the truck race. What did you guys think of it?
Honestly, I thought the truck race was better than the Xfinity race. I know it's kind of a controversial topic, but I mean, first off, Kyle Busch, anytime he's in a truck race, he's a favorite to win. If I'm correct, Cam, he picked Corey Heim to win, and he about got his pick right. Just Heim, with the experience, Kyle Busch just laid back. They made the run when he needed to make the run and made the pass to get the win. So very smart move by Kyle Busch. If I'm correct, it was the 100th win for Kyle Busch Motorsports. I may be wrong on that, but that's pretty incredible for a Truck Series team. And honestly, I don't think the truck race was better than last year's truck race, but definitely had its moments. There was a good bit of passing. But what did y'all think and observe about it?
Uh, kind of like what Christian said. I thought Corey Heim was maybe gonna pull it off, and I forget that there's a lot more experience in the hands of Bush. So, it was I wasn't too surprised, but I mean, I like I said, I think when it comes to here's the thing, that's why I love NASCAR so much. I hate when people just tell you and I hate it because it's such a backhanded thing to say too, and they're like, you just watch cars go in a circle, and I'm like, no, there's a lot of strategy into it, and there's a lot of experience and technique.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I always love when I see that technique go in the hand. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I thought the race was all right. We saw a lot of good restarts where, just the restarts in general the whole week were really good. Should have picked Kyle Busch. I didn't realize he was racing, so face palm for me. I picked Ross Chastain, and I don't even know where he finished.
It wasn't even close to winning.
Yeah, nah. What was I thinking? Yeah, I thought the race was pretty solid. There was a lot of strategy playing out. Zane Smith pretty much dominated the whole thing, and then he fell off toward the end. I think he
got
finished.
wrecked.
Oh yeah, but not good for him. I mean, Zane Smith has been having a rough stretch. It looks like he's going to win, and then now all of a sudden he's ending up wrecking. Whereas, before he would get a top 5 every race. So I think the hangover is starting to catch up with him. But hopefully with the playoffs coming up for the Truck Series, Zane can come back and rebound. So
yeah, another thing to note, there was a couple wrecks this race, but the Tanner Gray one definitely looked pretty bad. If you haven't seen it, here it is.
You're going to get loose down there, and that's exactly. Oh, nice job by Ankrum hanging on, but he's going to have a little damage. Man, you just feel terrible for Tanner because it's just such a great truck, and he wanted it so badly, knows he's got to win. And
we talked about him being 24 points below the cut line coming in, needing a good run here. It's almost going to be a must-win for him now next week at Richmond.
When you look at all those drivers, you don't know what their fate will be today, but you look at the number of drivers between him in a playoff spot and how tight things are. Seems pretty obvious now. He's going to have to win at Richmond if he's going to qualify for the playoffs. Let's go on board, see the view from Daniel Dye's onboard camera.
Oh, man.
We saw him wiggle and almost caught it one time, then it got away from him. And
that's quite the hit. And we've seen a couple of wrecks at Pocono recently over the last 5 years. But Pocono Pocono is honestly one of the most dangerous tracks on the schedule. If you go in turn one, blow tire, you're done. I mean, there's different points of that track where we've seen really bad wrecks. And last year we saw what happened with Kurt Busch, and we saw what happened to Jeb Burton. There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, we may see something crazy happen again." Thankfully, Austin Hill did have a pretty hard hit in his wreck, or not Austin Hill, Austin Dillon, and then Tanner Gray as well. So, honestly, Pocono is honestly one of the most challenging tracks on the schedule, and that's another reason why I like this track. It's unique with it being a triangle. Not only that, you have different corners, different areas. You have to run different lines. It's fast, and it's other than challenging, it's also one that drivers, have a little bit of urgency, because if you lay back too long, you're going to be 40 seconds behind somebody.
Right.
So you need to get going. So, I wouldn't mind seeing Pocono being in the playoffs in the future. I know that's kind of a crazy take, but Pocono for the playoffs.
I don't know if I agree with that, but Pocono, it's not my favorite track, but it's not really my least favorite track either. It's just, it's okay. I agree that, it's very fast, and I like that it's fast, and, it's unique. It's a triangle. It has turns that are molded from a lot of different tracks, and, I like the uniqueness to it, but, it's just, I feel like the lower series races, they're way more boring, and the Cup Series races are a little boring too, but, they do have a lot more excitement now with the Gen 7 car. They were boring, to clarify, by the way. But yes, I thought, this weekend was pretty good, and I liked a lot of the strategy.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know if I'd say that it's playoff bound racetrack, but I think it's definitely a good racetrack. I'd say it's deserving of 2 times a year.
Yeah.
And to take a look at what you guys had to say, 29% said great, 14% said good, 29% said meh/okay, and 28% said bad. EJP Pfeiffer, whatever your name is, he said the ending ruined it. To the truck race. I think he meant the Cup race, so my mistake, but yeah.
Either way, I think he's just salty that a Toyota driver won, or a former Toyota driver won with Kyle Busch. I don't know.
Anyway, what's next? Meme of the week, or?
Yeah, we got meme of the week. Got a couple entries, not a whole lot. It's not been a crazy meme week, but the first one we got up is Chase Elliott's self-spin. My trepidation never gets old. Chase Elliott always self-spins every year. Next up, we got Denny Hamlin, but in the courtroom, apparently, by Bushlicker. How's he going to explain this one on his podcast? And he did in a way that everyone was like, "You're such an idiot." Next up, we got NASCAR Chasm, with Denny Hamlin dancing to his haters. And then Mike, I'm sure you're probably one of the week is going to be Michael Marutz with what appears to be a gerbil or a hamster on the screen. If you could explain that one for us.
Yep.
Never touched him. I left so much room, like a lane and a half. He could have lived it. Maybe he's not that good. Don't hit the wall next time. That motherfucker should be executed.
He calls him Denny Hamster because, as some of you people may know, Michael Marutz has nicknames for a lot of his a lot of drivers. Like, for example, he calls Joey Logano Giggles Logano. He calls Kyle Busch Bushy Bleep. So, and Denny Hamlin, obviously Denny Hamster. So, that one is definitely my meme of the week, but I also like the Denny Hamlin courtroom one. Those are my 2 favorites.
Yeah, I think the courtroom one's probably my second favorite, but the first one's going to be the Marutz one. He was pretty funny.
What's with y'all riding Marutz? I'm sorry.
I haven't. I have not. Listen, Mike has. Mike has absolutely been riding the crap out of Marutz.
Not wrong.
I will give you that. Mike, no, hold on, Mike. I'm not finished. But me, on the other hand, I've only said he's had one good thing of the week besides this one. I don't want to hear that. Mike's the only one that's been doing a lot of the gawking around here. I haven't been doing that.
Oh no.
No. It used to be Denny Hamlin in the courtroom explaining his actions on Sunday, but now it's Cam in the courtroom explaining why he doesn't meet ride Marutz.
No, this not. But yeah, for real. I mean, the glazing is impeccable, but to say the least, if we're gonna be honest here, it wasn't a good meme week. I mean, there was stuff about Darian jinxing that it wasn't going to rain, and it rained like 5 minutes after he said that. There's people make memes about that, and then there's NASCAR memes IG, and of course the laugh with Kyle Larson fans after Hamlin. But he does that a lot every time Larson gets wrecked. So I would say TJ doesn't win. And honestly, for me, it's Bushlicker because it's just quite the picture, to say the least. I feel like it was good, but Marutz was definitely more creative, no doubt.
Yeah,
so was Bushlickers. Yeah, both of those were really creative.
And I think, you know what? I think there's a lot of times where we don't get a lot of memes of the week or a lot of the memes that are good when the memes kind of make of itself with Joey Logano and Austin Dillon and Chase Elliott spinning himself. I mean,
Yeah,
it kind of just always plays out that way.
exactly. So now I guess we can get into this weekend's picks at my home track and probably my least favorite track, Richmond. Let's see.
Can I say mine? Can I say mine first?
If you want to, starting out with the
For
truck
trucks.
race.
Yep. We're going out with Ty Majeski, baby.
You stole
Guess
my
I picked
pick,
the winner,
Cam. I'm
Pocono.
going with Ty Majeski as well.
That's why I said it
Wow,
before you, so I didn't have to look like I was copying somebody.
And that's crazy because I picked Majeski last week, and where was he? But dude, I don't know. It just seems like I've seen silver cars win at Pocono before. So honestly, I think the truck race will be I mean, we'll probably see Deegan wreck, someone wreck Deegan, or we'll see like maybe a handful of cautions, but I don't think it'll be a great race. I don't think it'll be better than the Xfinity Cup. But I'm going to go with Ben Rhodes. I know I picked him a couple times this year, but I think he just seems to be a candidate to win at Richmond. I
agree.
I can just see him winning.
Yeah. I think
that's
we're
good
gonna
pick.
see. I think we're gonna see another race as well. Trucks are gonna race like crap because they always do, and plus it's a short track, so I think it will be a lot of wrecks. Xfinity race. The Xfinity races are pretty crazy. Oh, and not to mention for the truck race, I forgot to mention this. This is the final race for them before the playoffs. So you already know they're going to go amp it up a little bit. So we'll see what happens in that race. But for the Xfinity race, I think that this race will be boring throughout, but we will see another good finish. And I'm going to say Chandler Smith will go back to back at Richmond.
Okay. Now hold on here. Hear me out here. He I forget where he placed last year. I think it was in either the top 10 or top 5, but I got Ryan Sieg.
Ooh, Ryan Sieg. I don't know how I feel about that.
That is quite an interesting pick. One thing I went to add about the truck race is this Saturday's race or Friday night's race at Richmond will be the last race of the regular season for the trucks. But honestly, Cam, Ryan Sieg, it would be cool to see him win. He's came close so many times, but for Road America, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to win Road America for the Xfinity Series because, I mean, you got guys like Justin Allgaier who runs well there. And it's going to be on NBC too, a channel that I can actually watch the race, right? Dude, it's tough. Honestly, I'm going to have to look at the entry list for this before I make a decision, and then you could edit it in a picture of the driver.
Time out. It's at Road America. I read the schedule wrong.
Yeah, Road America is this Saturday.
No, it's at Richmond. It's at Richmond. I looked it up.
NASCAR look at the schedule.
July 22nd.
He's right, Cam. He's right.
It says Road America after Pocono.
We messed up. We messed up big time on that.
I've
changed my picks now.
Weird? You know why that? But that's weird though because on ESPN it says NASCAR at Richmond.
Cam, you're looking at the 2022 schedule, I think.
No, I'm not. It says it. It says, dude, look, I will show you right here. Bro, I am not lying.
You're wrong, Cam. It's okay. You're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I'm going to show you.
You are wrong.
I want to see this TV guide because it sounds like they're showing a replay of something, maybe. But I need to see replay. Or
I'm not
TV
wrong.
Sir, this says Truck Series at Richmond. We're talking about the Xfinity Series.
Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hey, no way, bro.
Oh, no. Why'd I go? Oh, yeah. No, it does say Road America.
Oh, my God. We both screwed up that. No. This needs to be a blooper.
Man.
This needs to be a whole ass blooper, bro.
Okay, well, I already said my pick. I guess I'm going Ryan Sieg, so we'll see if Sieg does anything.
Nah, I'm changing my. Oh, man, I gotta look at the Road America results. Dang it.
I'm still trying to think of my Xfinity pick for Road America. I mean, Allgaier's tempting, but he hasn't ran well recently in some of the road courses.
Okay, fine, we'll keep it.
Go ahead. Who you got?
All right, I'm going with AJ Allmendinger. So I'm keeping it within call league. I think he's in this race. If he's not, then I'll say my pick at a later date.
I'm going Hill.
All right, that's a good one.
Okay. Looking at the entry list, for some reason, Kyle Sieg's in the 128 car, which I don't think there's a 128 car.
I think they mean because the 28.
AJ's in this race, so I'm thinking I'm either going to go with AJ or Sheldon Creed or Josh Berry, because Creed has ran well on road courses lately, but always has had someone take him out. And then I could just see the 8 car winning at Road America. I don't know why I could just see him winning. So one of those 3, and I'm probably going to end up having to go with AJ because he's just a road course master.
And then for the Cup race, I'm pretty sure it's at Richmond.
Yes,
it is at Richmond. It is at Richmond. I am going to say William Byron is going to win this one.
Son of a... I hate you, Michael. Yes, William Byron for me too. God.
Man, dude, why does everyone just take each other's picks? Well, Bowman has won here recently, and Harvick won here last year. But this is probably going to be one of my most boldest picks of the year because this guy has ran well at Richmond occasionally, but he's never won here. This is going to be really bold, okay? Hear me out. Chris Buescher wins at Richmond.
Whoa. Chris Buescher.
Yeah, Buescher will win at Richmond this Sunday.
I get what you're saying. I'm not saying you're wrong, but that is a really bold pick.
So hard.
Because it's like I get Timmy Hill flashbacks.
Oh yeah, you get the Timmy Hill flashbacks through Coda last year.
Yeah, I get PTSD.
Imagine how
I'll tell you what.
Kelly to win.
Okay, here's what I'll say. I'll say this. Here's what I will say. I think that Byron's gonna go, but someone that I watch out for, and this is kind of a bolder pick to say. This is kind of bold. Keselowski.
That's not bad either.
Keselowski's good at Richmond, yeah. But I think that the Xfinity race, I think this race will be interesting. Road America is a good track. They've run it pretty consistently, and it's always been pretty decent. And the Cup race, I feel like it's going to be another kind of boring race unless they do something with the package. But anyways, I think that's going to close out this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Make sure you guys follow our socials, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
See ya.
Calling out, you wanted what I think.